I've got to go this way.
I know. So I was like, hey, we're live.
I wish they'd all move.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. If you're tuning in live, that's awesome. If you're listening to the replay, that's great too. Welcome and thanks for tuning in. This has been a ton of fun. I'm Andrea Vahl. I'm here with the fabulous Jody Milward. She's just lovely down in Australia. And I've known her for a long time. And then I got to meet her a few years ago at Social Media Marketing World. That was so much fun. And yeah, it's fun I was just saying, it's just been so fun to hear everyone's stories and hear like how they've grown their business. And, you know, Jody's got an amazing story just going from like 0 to 7-figure agency. So it's just really awesome. And so just want to hear a little bit about how you got started doing this and how you kind of have grown. And, you know, we've talked before about the path a little bit, the, you know, kind of way things trend when you just make decisions and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here, Andrea, because, you know, I'm just have loved you for a lot of years and everything that you do and the joy and the enthusiasm. And you're certainly one of the, you know, the leaders for me. Like as I started out, you know, I reached out to you and help, I need, you know, some one-on-one support. And that was a big jump for me at that stage. So you're just such a gem and yeah, just been a rock in my journey. So thank you very much. So starting out, you know, the transition came when I had kids because I suddenly went, okay, so I had an office job. I think at the time, it's so long ago now, my baby is like, you know, 19. So another previous lifetime. So had kids and was looking for that thing of like, okay, I need that flexibility because kids are little, they're at home, they get sick, and what can I do to work around them? So I thought, well, you know, they were starting to go to school, so a teacher aide, that would be a great thing because you'll get school holidays, you'll work school hours. Right. What I didn't really think of was that, you know, I'd be surrounded by 54-year-olds at lunchtime. And I was like, what am I doing here? This is nothing for me. So that was an epiphany. And it was like, what can I do instead? So that's when I started looking for opportunities to work from home. And the thing I fell into, as you do, I became a private investigator. So natural career progression.
Sure.
So it was like a Robin Hood kind of thing. So it was like money that was unclaimed went to the government, and of course the government doesn't want to give it back, do they? So they made a lot of red tape, and it was, you know, and then, you know, police would get and you know, if you get a letter in the mail, especially these days, it's like, hey, we found $10,000 that belongs to you. So, you know, of course I had the police calling me for scams, and I'm going, enough.
Yeah.
That's wild. So I was like, what else? And so again, then natural progression. Oh, we fall into Facebook ads. But it's just natural clear path. Now, why don't they do this at high school when it's like, oh, you want to do this? There you go. This is your career. And when I just sort of stumbled into it. I was just really drawn to Facebook, and I could just see the opportunities that it had to give anybody the opportunity to have a platform and like play with the big guys. So we started off, had a bit of an e-com sort of product, like we were white labeling. And again, I just sort of loved the ad side of it. So I really just fell into it. And I just sort of started learning. And I don't really, first of all, I was learning like for our e-com stuff. But then we finished up with that, but I still kept going. And it was like, I just kept learning. And inadvertently just fell into this service provider sort of role. And with that, I was in someone's Facebook group and they wanted someone to do ads for them, and I'd just been dabbling. I said, yeah, look, I'd be happy for the experience and I'd love to do it. Back in the days of Power Editor, and it was like I got in there and it's like, oh my gosh, I can still picture the screen.
I know, right?
Overwhelm of like, what does all these numbers mean? And it was like, yeah, you really feel like you're in NASA or something about to launch a space shuttle when you're hitting launch on an ad, right? And from there, I got paid $12 an hour, and it was scary times. I put in a lot of work, but it was a really successful launch from them. And so from there, it just, evolved. I got on Upwork even, and I was looking for people there. So, so I just sort of fell into it. But with all of that, there's been certainly rocky times where, I've freelanced, I've been a contractor, I've worked in-house for a company, which was fabulous. That was the best time. Running the ads and the funnels, and then just having that overall full knowledge and control of everything. So that was wonderful. But then, I was burning out from that, and I had the realization, talk about, when things really have to happen for you to change things. But there was one day when our beautiful 10-year-old Labrador, he came down, and it was he just wasn't himself. And so the next day he was, put to sleep, went over the little doggy Rainbow Bridge, and it was a Sunday. And then we had to have a call on Sunday lunchtime, and it was 2 hours after we'd farewelled our little puppy. Oh, well, he's 10 years old, so I was all the puppies. And I went, this is just not the balance that I was looking for.
Right.
So that then sort of, took me on a bit of a journey. I just had to walk away from, that full-time gig. And so what am I going to do now? So things got a bit hairy there for a while. So I started just, trying to work with local businesses, get a foot in the door with all of that. And it was disheartening in a way, because they just didn't realize the potential of Facebook ads. With this business that I've been working with, we ended up generating over $1 million in 9 months.
Wow.
So it's and then when you go to somewhere and they go, oh, Facebook ads, waste of money, da, da, da.
Yeah.
Really?
Is it really $1 million? I don't think it's a waste of money.
There was such education that needed to be done there as well. But so I was kind of burnt out. I'd started trying to learn how to develop an agency, so I thought I can't do this all myself. So I need a team. So I was going through that process, and again, still the struggles of, just getting clients on board. And I remember talking to a friend at the time, and it was so at that stage, we'd had 6 months where our income had just gone right down, because I was the sole provider. And they said, well, maybe just to keep the lights on, you should just, get a job at that factory, because I was telling them about his factory job, $20 an hour, and just go do that. And when they said that, I could just feel myself die on the inside, because it was I just knew that's that entrepreneurial thing, right? You've got to do your own thing. So I just really felt that instantly. And while I respected this person, it was well, no, I'm not going to do that. And if I'm not going to do that, I really need to make this work. So from then I just dug in, and it's this, the niche that I've been working with all these years is the coaching and digital courses, which, can be a bit of a rough niche, right? It's not just a matter of here's this perfume and buy this perfume and it smells great and whatever. It's getting into pain points and the psychology and the messaging and all the elements of it. So it is quite a complex niche. And I talked to a friend who was running ads for orthodontists, and I'm going, how many hours do you spend a month on campaigns? And she's going, oh, about 6. And I'm going, what? On these ones. So I tried to escape from, this niche, but then when all this happened, I went, right, this is my, this is my zone. This is who I know. This is who I work with. So then when I made that decision to really sort of dig in and go back to what I knew, that's when everything just turned around. And, so that's when, I had clients coming to me, getting great success with clients' ads and things like that. So again, it was that mindset and that burnout, had to have that refresh and just, recalibrate where I was at and actually what I wanted for things to then turn around and just take off as they have. So how's that for...
I think that's such a great message, though, because there does have to be some clarity with your own business and who you serve, and really kind of that decision that you make to say, okay, I'm all in, we're going to do this. And, and then there becomes, it's an attraction to then people, coming out of the woodwork a lot of times, just, So it is interesting because it's a fascinating dynamic that happens with like entrepreneurial ventures in general, I think,
Yeah.
because when your messaging is out to the universe can be mixed, people don't know how to plug in and connect with you. So that's how I've been as well. I feel like I've had, up and down where I'm like, oh, why isn't this working? And you're kind of pushing something uphill, and it really has to come from some clarity deep within. So
100%. Yeah, people pick up on that. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So awesome. That's so great. So tell us, so you kind of touched on what you love about working for yourself. Let's go to the next question about what are you most proud about in your business? What's something that like you look back and you're like, wow, I am really proud that I did that.
Yeah, well, one of them was, yes, working with that company full-time in-house. So I'm really proud of that and everything that I learned. Like, it was a hard journey. We had a launch one time and I was up like seriously 24 hours.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Getting all those bits and pieces together. So I really did, put in the hard yards with that, and I grew so much through all of it. So I'm very proud of that. And then the results that we achieved with that as well. And then you see, when you're doing this job, when you're like an ad manager and then you're partnering with someone who, has a coaching or online business or something like that, typically their offer is out there to people that's going to improve their life in some way, or educate them in some way so that they can make some changes and make things better for them. So it was so good to see, like, so with that $1 million, there's all the people behind that who got in and did this training and was educating them to make a difference and to actually, follow their dreams. And like, here is a roadmap for you to be able to go from here to where you want to be. So that's really rewarding as well. And then, again, well, I've got a client at the moment who they've just done phenomenally well with their self-liquidating offer. Okay. So COVID happened, their usual business structure all changed. They were doing live events around the world. Of course, not happening.
Right.
So had to do a pivot. And so we went, okay, so we did a challenge earlier in the year, and we put that challenge into an SLO, and we got that up and running. And that's ticked over about $900,000 since June.
That's awesome.
So that's been transformational for them, for their business and their life. And they're going, holy cow, it's like they've gone from, things not looking so good to just, amazing. And again, that product and offer is bringing a lot of joy to the world. So, it's a great thing. So they've been great. And then working with people as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So I want to touch just a little bit on the whole self-liquidating offer for people who aren't as familiar with that. Talk a little bit about like kind of the setup of that and the whole idea behind that with running ads and what, maybe a price point that you kind of put that on and how you're testing some of that.
Yeah, for sure. So yes, the old self-liquidating offer, SLO, tiny offer, pocket product, whatever you want to call it. So it's typically when you're sending traffic straight to an offer to purchase, and it's a low cost offer. So it's a $27, $37 product typically. But then the whole secret to the success of an SLO is then having a bump and then an OTO. So you've got those key elements in place so that you're not just selling a one-off $27 offer, but that average order cart value then ends up going from 27 to maybe, typically, okay, so mine's 37 and then I've got a $27 bump. So it's typically a $64 average cart value, okay, because people will typically buy the both, and then you've got your conversion rates and knowing all those numbers. So you've gone from a $27 sale up to a $64 sale. So that gives you a lot of wiggle room to be able to go, okay, so it's going to cost me, $40 for a sale. I'll still make average $20 on the sale overall. So it makes it profitable. But when we think of an SLO, we need to come back to think, what's it actually called? It's actually called a self-liquidating offer. So if all it does is pay for itself so that you're building a list of people who are buyers. Then it's offsetting your ad spend for your lead gen campaign. People are actually buying, they're consuming your content. They're great. That's a great quality list. Give me that any day over just people who are opting in and then only 20% even open your emails. And then they're saying, what's next? This training was great. What's next? And so for myself, I've got my own SLO out there, and it has been fabulous for bringing people in. And so then I also have some training programs. So people have purchased the SLO, then joined my training, or even for my agency work. I think the SLO has brought in over what is it? Probably about 80,000. I think it's over 100,000 actually. I'm not sure. I lose track of the numbers. A significant amount of good quality agency clients. So which just continues to grow because, they come on board and then they're there for months. And so an agency client could be worth, $40,000 or more. Right. So, so it's been great for that as well. So it's been bringing in, because when you do agency work, and if you were to do your typical lead gen campaigns, or it might be like, here, you want to do Facebook ads, call for a discovery call. And, I've been there and done that. And there's just so many unqualified leads, and you try to filter them out, but then even you'll get on the phone and they'll go, give me 10,000 testimonials and da-da-da-da-da, and all the time you to prove yourself. Whereas the SLO goes out there, it proves it's, you prove yourself to people with that, and then they're hungry to work with you. So that's been great for that. So instead of doing $3,000 a month on, trying to get people on calls, your ads are paying for itself. You're bringing in great quality leads. So typically front end offer, a bump and an OTO, so that you have a great value stack. And when you're creating them, you need to think of like, okay, so what's the problem that you're solving, or that people typically come to you about, and then you scratch the next itch for each one of them. So it's like, okay, this is their first problem. Then when they solve this with this offer, there's the bump. What problem is that going to solve? Okay. And then the next one for the OTO. Okay, great. You got these on board. Now this is going to be your issue, and here this is to help you solve that. So so they're great. A lot of people will, while we've had that unicorn that's made $900,000, that is the exception and not the norm. When that happens, you go, woohoo, that's brilliant. But really, they can be profitable, or at least offset your ad spend. So and
there's a lot of testing that goes into that. It's not just like, it's not just like set it up and then boom, it's an ATM. So it has to be each step of the way, just making small improvements, tracking each conversion rate. It's a lot of work. So but it can be amazing, right? So
absolutely, it's not something to be dismissed. It is a lot of work to put all the content together, like you said, and then there's a sales page and all the rest of it. But it can be very rewarding. But you do have to put in the work to tweak and optimize, like you said.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, this time has gone so fast. So you've got amazing tips there. I think we've covered everything that really I was gonna cover. So one of the things I'm asking, and you've been a member of my Facebook advertising secrets group for a long time, and you pop in there with great tips, great advice, all that stuff. So what is something that you've found beneficial in being a member of a group like that?
Well, it is that community. And when you are having issues with ads, as we all do, it's being able to have that community and jump in and have a trusted source so that you can ask, because there are so many free groups out there where you can ask a question and you'll just get somebody's third-hand information that they heard that someone said once as to like, this is what to do. And if you actually go, oh, great, that's great. Have you actually done that? No, I haven't. Awesome. So having that community where you're there and you're in charge, and not in charge, I don't mean everybody, and giving your expertise and experience back when people are asking questions is so valuable. But then it's also that community of people who support each other as well. And I think that says a lot about, the culture when people are jumping in and they're answering each other's questions and they have that support in that environment where everyone's going through like the same training and the same information so that you're all on the same page. And then, you know, with your program, it's like, I love the way that it's a very straightforward checklists. This is how you do it step by step, because I know like in the early days, I was following someone along for a while in their monthly membership and stuff, and there was no opportunity for, there was a one day, you know, here's the thread, ask your questions and it'll be answered on a Q&A. So there was no interaction with each other in the community. There was no chances for you to ask questions. And then also the training that they did was like very kind of, I don't know, I kind of think evergreen. Like they would just waffle on and they would talk about this and talk about that. And while there were gold nuggets in it, it lacked a lot of the substance of like, this is actually how you connect all the dots and step. And so then when I sort of moved on and I discovered that kind of thing, and that's what's in your training, it's like, here's the step and the step and the step and the step. And it's like, that is what you need. Like, yeah, sure. You may be able to get that on YouTube if you want to go and spend hours looking around and you don't know who this person is and validate them. When you put the skin in the game and you actually invest into a course or a program like this, it gets you, it puts a fire, you know, under your butt to actually get in, get involved, get the most out of it, draw from that knowledge and expertise of the person, and get results so that, you know, like for yours, get out there, recoup your money, become an ad manager, and then yes, me and the community are continuing to be here to support you. And you do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Jody. That's so great. So great. Well, hopefully someday we'll get to see each other in person again.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to let everyone know where they can connect with you. Jody has a lot of great blog posts and information, lots of cool things going on her site. So make sure you go connect with Jody over here. And I'm putting that in the comments there. And so, and if people have any questions, just pop in, ask any questions, and we'll follow up with that. So thank you so much for your time today. And it's been lovely to reconnect with you.
Absolutely. You too, Andrea. Yes, definitely next time I'm over there or whatever those events when they come back and start up again. Oh my God.
I know.
So good. Everyone's going to be running around. Yay.
I know. We can't wait. Maybe 2022. It's going to be our year. All right.
Never be optimist you are.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.